Today is November 6th, Wednesday, the day after the election. At the time of recording this, Donald Trump has won and Kamala Harris has lost. Today, I want to talk about everyone's favorite topic, which is politics. Hopefully you guys don't crucify me or cancel me for this. But before I hop into that, I want to start off with a story. And the story is going to be about football. I've already lost 50% of my viewers because half of you probably don't watch football. But trust me, if you listen, it'll help my reasons and my points later. I live in South Jersey, and I am a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. The thing with Jersey is that we don't have our own football team. So in close proximity, there's the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, the New York Jets. Maybe if you go deeper, you have the Buffalo Bills, and maybe deeper into Pennsylvania, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. In Jersey, I've seen fans of all those different teams. The fans that I hate the most, though, if you could be a fan of any of the teams that I just mentioned, which is fine, like it makes sense. You live in the area; those teams are in the area. The fans that I hate the most are Dallas Cowboy fans. They're just annoying. I just assume that each and every one of them is a schmuck. And the reason why I do is because you live in New Jersey. Dallas, like the physical geographical location of Dallas is so far away that I feel like the only reason why you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys is because you like attention, right? Because you know that every team hates you. You love it when people give you the attention, when they hate you and all that good stuff, and you're a schmuck and you just don't have any real good reason to love the Dallas Cowboys. A couple months ago, I met somebody in New Jersey, and he was a Cowboys fan. I automatically thought this guy was a schmuck. Just no good reason for liking the Dallas Cowboys. I just automatically hated him. But within a short 5 to 10 second conversation, we were both cool. And the conversation was basically him saying that he was born and raised in Dallas, and everyone around him loved the Dallas Cowboys. He ended up moving to New Jersey for a job, whatever. I don't know. I forgot what it was. But he moved to New Jersey, and he just never left the team. He loves the Dallas Cowboys, and you know what? I respect him for that. So I sat there, and I basically said, good for you. Like, I can't blame you for loving the Dallas Cowboys. That is a very good reason for doing so. I still hope that you swap over to a different team because I hate it. Every single one of you except you because you're cool. But no, I mean, I can't sit here and blame you for liking the Dallas Cowboys. So that's my example. And for the sake of the length of this video, I'm just going to jump right into politics. Keep that example top of mind because it's going to make sense in a second. But I met somebody recently that was pro-choice. And obviously, if you're pro-choice, then you're probably voting Democrat. Now, before I hop into this example, a lot of the things that I'm going to say are going to be done for simplicity, right? We can go on and on about fact checking, about, the Donald Trump said that he would leave the decision to the states and the Supreme Court, so he's not actually banning abortions, or, like the Senate and the House, they're all Republicans, so in 2 years' time, it's going to get banned. And let's just, for simplicity, bear with me. Please bear with me. So anyway, guy I knew is pro-choice. And the reason why is because he knew somebody that either was on the brink of death or there was an emergency medical reasoning for the abortion or whatever it was. Point is that person needed an abortion, and she got one very easily. And this guy told me that this was a very life-changing experience for him to witness. And ever since then, he's been pro-choice, and he's been voting Democrat ever since. On the other hand, I also know somebody, and these are all real people. I'm not making this up. Sources, trust me, bro. But anyway, someone else I met just recently got approved for an adoption. So he himself and his partner are incapable of having babies. I obviously didn't dig into that, right? Whether it's a genetic reason or I don't know. I didn't dig into that. But anyway, he went through a very lengthy adoption process, and he finally got approved. And the way that it works is he interviewed with a woman that was currently pregnant. Now, for whatever reason, that woman is unable to keep the baby, whether it's because the dad left or for financial reasons or whatever it is. That's not something that I'm going to dig into. Point is, she just can't have the baby. So instead of aborting the baby, she chose to have it fully. And baby's not here yet, but when the baby does come at birth, I don't know how the process works, but that baby will belong to my friend, the person who's adopting that baby. And he told me that this whole process has been very beautiful to him. He's going to be a dad, and it was all because, this woman chose not to abort her baby. And so therefore he is pro-life and he is voting Republican. In both cases, pro-life and pro-choice, those are both very good reasons. So who am I, for example, if I'm a Republican, who am I to go up to the person voting Democrat to say, oh, you're dead wrong, you should be voting for Donald Trump, you should blah, 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 this and that and that. In good conscience, who am I to say that? This guy has a very good reason for voting Democrat. If I was a Democrat, who am I to go up to the person that went through the adoption process to say, oh my God, you hate women, you hate money, and you hate Ukraine and Palestine and blah, 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 you should be voting Democrat and blah, 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 whatever. Who am I in good conscience to say that? This guy has a very appropriate reason for voting Republican. See, now that Dallas Cowboys example is starting to make sense. It's, how can I blame someone that is from Dallas, born and raised, for liking the Dallas Cowboys, right? How can I do that in good conscience? He has a very good reason for doing so. Where I really have an issue in the world of politics and voting and all that good stuff is when people vote without a reason, or at least without a good reason. And good is very, very subjective, right? Now, this is where I'm being very careful with my words and trying to not to get canceled here and trying my best to say this in the most neutral way possible. I hate it when people vote Democrat and their reasoning for doing so is because they hate Donald Trump. It's like, wait, let me actually wait before I get into that explanation. Let's do it for the other side. I hate it when people vote Republican because they are transphobic. Oh my God. The reasoning is not good enough. Like, your reasoning is based off of hate. It's based off of a phobia. Like, what? Dude, you need a good reason to vote. You can't just vote because you hate the other side. Like, I would rather you not vote. That's just like, it's like going up to a Dallas Cowboys fan that lives in Jersey and says, I don't even like the Dallas Cowboys. I just like them because I know you hate them and I hate you. You know what I mean? That's like dude, you're a schmuck. Like, you're a schmuck, bro. And I'm not trying to swear or anything, but dude, you're lame. All right. You're just lame for doing so. So that's basically my main point. Now, the other thing that comes with politics is just the back and forth clashing of both parties, the hate speech, the losing of friends, you're disconnecting from your family member over politics or because you don't align. Like, okay, let's take a step back for a second. Let's take a step back for a second. You have to understand that people are going to do the thing that benefits them the most, right? If I'm a rich person and I don't want to lose my money, I'm going to vote for the party that taxes me less. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm a poor person, I'm going to vote for the party that has the best deflationary policies, right? Because I don't want to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for groceries. If I am a student and I have a lot of student loans, I'm going to vote for the party that has the best student loan forgiveness. If I'm an immigrant and half of my family is illegal here, I'm going to vote for the party that has the most lax illegal immigrant policies because I don't want my entire family to be deported, right? These are all very good reasons. So how can I sit here and blame the person that wants to keep his family close to them for voting Democrat? right? How can I blame the rich person for voting Republican if that means less taxes for them? I'm sure there's a couple good seeds of rich people that vote the other way. And again, don't fact check me on any of this. I'm just simplifying the policies of each party. But there's probably rich people that are like, oh, I'm willing to pay more taxes if it helps the middle class or the poor people. There's probably people who, like, this is fairly extreme, but maybe vote Republican even if they have illegal immigrant relatives, because they say, hey, there's a lot of illegal immigrants that are in my city that are violent, that are stealing, that are doing this, and they don't belong here. I'm sure there are people like that, right? Point is, they have their reasons, and it is ridiculous, absolutely redonkulous to blame someone and getting mad at them, angry at them, like hostile towards them for voting for the thing that benefits them the most. This is a random example, but I rarely argue with my wife anymore. We've been together for a long time, and obviously before we were married, we've had a ton of arguments. But what we realized, and this goes for all arguments, whether you're in a relationship, whether it's like between you and a parent or a relative or whatever it is, doesn't have to be with a partner. Arguments exist because both sides think they're right. So if you have two parties arguing who's right, you will go on for ages because both parties think that they're right. So it gets to a point where if we're on the brink of an argument, me and my wife, all we do is talk about the reasonings why. So let's say, for example, me and my wife are on the brink of an argument about me being on my phone too much. And let's say I think that I wasn't on my phone too much. And let's say that she thinks that I was on my phone too much. We don't even argue about the length of time. It's like, no, you were on it for half an hour. And I was like, no, I swear I was on it for 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. I go back and forth about the length of time for longer than I was actually on my phone for, arguing longer than the amount of time I was on my phone for. But it doesn't even get to that point. We basically sit down and say, okay, what are your reasons? You know what I mean? You've got to have a good reason. Let's say I was on my phone because I was dealing with work, and then I got distracted for 5 minutes and played a game on my phone in the midst of work, but I was doing work. And let's say she thinks I was on my phone for too long because she's very pregnant and she needs me to be around, and I can't afford to be distracted because I need to be taking care of her. What do you know? Both sides have very good reasons, right? So now it's a matter of, okay, irrespective of how much time I was on my phone for, there's a couple things that I need to do to improve, and maybe a couple things that you need to do to improve. To say, okay, next time I'm on my phone for work, I need to prepare a couple things for you first, like maybe give you a snack or something like that. And then maybe the next time I'm working and she knows that, maybe she'll go ahead and do something else instead of sitting around and waiting for me, so it doesn't seem like such a long time. And I feel like at this point I'm just rambling. But to summarize, I don't care who you vote for. You just have to have a very good reason for voting for the party that you're voting for, right? I have a problem if you go willy-nilly vote for something and then have no good reason, or the reason you have is because, oh, I just hate everybody. Like, that is, dude, that's not a good reason. That just grinds my gears. But I applaud the Democrat that's voting Democrat because they're pro-choice. I applaud the Republican for voting Republican because they're pro-life, right? I applaud both sides. They both have very good reasons. And the thing that I'm not going to do is sit here and argue with people and block people and do all these things because I just think I'm totally 100% right and the other party is wrong, right? Take a step back. Understand that people are going to do the thing that benefits them the most. At the end of the day, Donald Trump has won. You know, I feel for the Democrats who were pro-choice and this and that, and you know, I feel for them, but I don't feel for those that are spreading hatred, that are shunning relatives and friends because they have this image in their head that, oh, if you voted Republican, you hate women, you hate everybody, you voted for a rapist and did this and did that, you love. I truly, I don't know what to say to you. um I am always for love, right? Spreading love no matter what happens. And so if you're sitting here spreading hate, and even the Republicans who are spreading hate to the Democrats, like, you lost and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of hate in this world, and I just hate to see it. But what I do love is an educated American citizen that has their reasons for voting, and whatever happens, still decides to spread love. That's my ramble. Goodbye.